Well, I just got done reading An Apple Sleep Experiment, Chapter 7, A Cheerful Visit. And that title is misleading because I thought the visit was anything but cheerful. But with that said, I think this chapter is shocking and a little depressing and a little, I wouldn't, well, when I first read it, I read it twice, first time just to read it and the second time to read it just to prepare for this video. But the first time I read it, I would have said confusing, but now that I reread it, I will say it's kind of shocking and depressing. And the reason I say it's depressing is because it does show Twilight is concerned for Applejack, and she feels like she is responsible for for her going insane and not being able to sleep. Now, she hasn't killed anybody yet. Or at least by the looks of it, she hasn't killed anyone yet, because in this chapter it confirms the blood on her hoof from the last chapter wasn't from a nurse or a doctor, or the nurse and the doctor, or another patient. It was just apparently her own blood, because she, you know, gnawed on the restraints and apparently got some of her flesh in the process. Which, in hindsight, I probably should have saw that, especially because, cannibalism and tearing their own body and stuff was part of the original Russian sleep experiment, if I remember right. So I should have saw that coming, but I don't know. The way it was worded in chapter 6, that made me did think she did kill somebody. But I should have known in hindsight. That's one reason I say it's shocking, is because of that. That and just like her just not even being there. I'm not gonna lie, because when I saw the title, I thought she was gonna be in there, and they were just gonna see her acting crazy in the room. I was surprised that she actually escaped, and she's out on the out on the loose. Though again, in hindsight, she just saw that coming. But I don't know. That's just what I thought when I read the title "Cheerful Visit." Tell me anyone else thought they were gonna see AJ go crazy, and then she was gonna escape that during this chapter. Not like, if you hear popping, I just pop my knuckles. But not, off screen or page, whatever you want. Then it's fine. It works. It works for a nice little shock value, and that's shock value done right to me, because it's short, to the point, and it's not like a character death just for the sake of being shocking. Though I don't know, those probably will happen in the story. But the reason I say it's depressing is because of how like I said earlier, Twilight feeling bad about AJ's situation she's in. She feels responsible for it, and I'm not going to put her to blame there. Yes, she gave her the potion, but she did warn her, and way before even giving her the potion. Feels like she was more peer pressured into it. I think she's got a problem with being peer pressured into doing that sort of stuff. Even if she wasn't, yeah, no, she wasn't really peer pressured, but she was convinced, because AJ did say she was desperate, and again, she did make her promise to only use it as a last resort. So really, she was just trying to be a good friend there, and just hoped everything was not going to you know, go in the direction it went. Same thing with Applejack too. People need to put Applejack at fault there for drinking the entire potion. Because again, I feel like she could have just took one sip and she would have been fine. Though that could be wrong, and she had to drink all of it. But for now, I'm just going to put them both at fault, as well as Filthy Rich, because if Filthy Rich wasn't being so demanding, none of that would have happened. You know, I'm not even gonna blame Granny Smith, because when you need money, then you need it. But Filthy Rich is literally rich. He can wait. You know, he can wait to get that money, especially with apple cider. They're gonna make a lot of money with apple cider. Not not apple cider, but Zap apple jam. Pretty sure they'll make a lot of money to pay Filthy Rich off, and to have enough for the winter and stuff. But I'm not saying that's a fault of the story. I'm just saying that's just Filthy Rich being greedy. That's just part of the I'm not gonna say character assassination because at this point it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like a character change rather than an assassination. Which I guess if you want, you can say it's the same thing, but I'm just gonna call it a character change right now because I've just grown to accept the fact that Filthy Rich is going to be completely different in this one than he is in the original. Even though I said you could just have Flim and Flam be the ones being greedy and stuff, because I see that being there, and you can just say Filthy Rich had a heat stroke or something, or is off doing business somewhere else right now. But whatever, I'll take it. I do like how we do have the inclusion of Twilight actually showing how she feels like a failure. That's definitely in character for her. If something bad happened to one of her friends because of her, regardless if she agreed to it or if she suggested it or only agreed to it because they were desperate and they needed help, regardless, she's going to put herself at blame for it. And I do like how the rest of their friends try to help cheer her up there. Again, this is just feeling like a My Little Pony episode, but if it was rated R. If it was for adults. And I really like that. I feel like more My Little Pony creepypastas, at least out of the ones I'm read and reading now, at least, I feel like they could have had that tone more. Though I think this one, as they still do think this one could have done Filthy Rich different and all that stuff, I still think it's pretty good so far. I'm excited to see where it goes. Though, one complaint I have is confirming the potion to be real. Or at least in this chapter, it looks like they're confirming it to be real. I don't know. I'll have to read the rest of them to find out because, they could confirm that and then be like, gotcha, it's really all this was in AJ's head. So, or whatnot. I don't know. Even then, I don't think that would fix it. I wish they didn't confirm the potion to be real or. Well, actually, the more I think about it, it probably can still have that ending. Or the leave it to interpretation direction that I feel like it was going with the first 6 chapters. I feel like it could, the more I think about it, just because confirming the potion there and it being real doesn't mean that it was Twilight's fault or it's the potion's fault. If anything, the potion probably still didn't have a huge effect with it. But even then, the more I think about the inclusion of Twilight confirming that she gave her the potion, that does give her some responsibility and the potion it gives it some of the responsibility as well. I'm trying not to use the same word there, but yeah. It gives the potion it basically hints at the potion being the a reason for her being not being able to go to sleep. But I wish they would have left. It seems, regardless, it seems like the potion is going to be a big part or involved with her being sleep deprived. But I do wish it would have been more of an interpret it as you will type of direction. But you never know, it could still go there. Either way, I still like this chapter, but I think 6 and 5 are my favorite chapters so far, 5 and 6, because it has so much going for it and so much detail in there without it being overcrowded, but yet not being too little. It's enough detail, shall I say, not so much, but enough detail to know what's going on, how the character's feeling, without it dragging or without it being too short. And as I said, chapter 6 is terrifying, and chapter 5 is just really freaking good. Even if I don't like Filthy Rich's inclusion in there, I still think it's good. It's not enough to ruin that chapter. This one, it's good too, but it's a short chapter. It's hard for me to have any strong opinions on short chapters. Like short stories, I can have stronger opinions because they're short stories. They ain't gonna be like 500 words, and even like anything that's like 500 words or below, maybe even 600 or below, possibly 700. It's hard for me to have a full-on opinion on because it's just short and it just gets to the point right away. It's just like for me when it comes with short chapters or stories, I'm just like good because I like that. There we go. where if it's longer, it's easier for me to actually give a proper reason. So if the short chapters, if I don't have much to say in the short chapters, that's why. I just don't know really how to give a full on opinion when it comes to short stuff or short stories, except maybe that one scene in Batman Beyond the Return of the Joker where it shows Joker's death and stuff. That one's easier for me to do, where this one here I, not really. Like I have a good amount to say. I mean, this is already 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes. But compared to Cupcakes, where I had a lot to say about it, because I'm reading each chapter individually and talking about them one by one, I'm kind of limited on what I can say because I don't have the full picture yet. But when I get the full picture, when I read and review the entire story, um, like when I binge read the story and I got the full picture and stuff, I should have more and more to say. Again, I just need the full picture so I can have more to say. Right now, I'm kind of limited because I don't have the full picture. But I will say I do like this chapter. I think it's really good. Chapter one, while chapter one was decent, a decent start because it took me a little bit to get used to Filthy Rich. I think by the time I got to 5, I just had to. Plus, seeing videos that are them animated, I I'll have to leave. I'll leave the link of it to the video or to the YouTube channel in the link in the description below. But had Apple Sleep Experiment animated shorts there that was tied directly into the story. And when I'm involved Filthy Rich, so it's kind of easier for me to just accept his change in being different from his Friendship is Magic counterpart. Though it's not that easy because every other character does feel like their Friendship is Magic counterpart, just in an adult version. And I guess if Filthy Rich was an adult show, he probably would be this way. I don't know. But with that said, like I said, I like this chapter. I'm excited to see where the rest of the story is going to go. Chapter 8 to 11. I only got a few chapters left. And really, I'm surprised I only got a few chapters left. But again, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I hope the story stays good throughout. I'm fine with it having a little problems as long as they don't outweigh the good stuff like Rocket to Insanity did. Rocket to Insanity, real quick, I will say, it's growing on me just a little bit. I'm not going to say it's completely awful, but still not really as good as I was hoping. But where, that story had a few things I liked in it, where the rest of it I just couldn't get into and I just didn't like. This one so far has a few stuff I don't like, but a lot of other stuff I like, and that's really just the stuff with AJ, how it's describing, the symptoms of her being sleep deprived so far and going into her mind and how she feels about the situation, about staying awake, being in debt, paying the debt only for having to pay more than what she was expecting. So I really, in her mind as she loses her sanity because of her not being able to sleep, I really love it. It has a lot more to offer. And I just hope it stays consistent. I hope it's good throughout. We will see. Until then, as I said so many times probably by now, that I like this chapter. I can't wait to see what happens next. And until then, this is the Gaming Reader, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and God bless you.